Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, and the guests just keep on coming. We have a very special one tonight. He is a video game enthusiast and been in the video game industry for several years. We're very glad and humbled to welcome back David Tiscareno. David, thanks for coming back.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be great. We're just kicked off 1981, and I think we're somewhere in between August and September. And like usual, we play every single game. So you are the man. I'm so glad you could be here to join us. Let's kick it off with our last game, which was Pegasus 2 for the Apple II, which was like a scramble clone that you could play. I think it's the first one we've ever seen on the channel. And after Pegasus 2, let's see what our next release is. We're going to play Morton's Fork for the Apple II, which I believe is a term used for something in psychology. It sounds like, you know, Occam's razor. Like I've heard it somewhere before.
I've never heard it. I have heard of Occam's razor, but never the Morton's Fork.
Morton's Fork is something. I can't think of it, what it is right now. Let's take a look at the artwork for Morton's Fork. There it is, the front of the box by Adventure International. It is part 3 of Maces and Magic. Many have tried to find the secret of the wizard's fortress. None have survived. Now it's your turn. So if you're going to base this game by the cover, what do you think this game is? What genre do you think we're going to play?
I mean, I'm seeing here and it looks adventurous, so I would say adventure.
Like text adventure or a graphic adventure?
Yeah, I would say so.
Nice. I'm going to say magic. It's got to be a role-playing game.
Okay.
And here we go, back in the box. Like the other Adventure Internationals, they tell us how long it's going to take to play. They say you'll complete it in 1 month for average, and then age group is 12 to adult, recommended for novice, classification, and then they always have a kind of a story going on the back of the box. Oh, yeah, is it eating simulator we heard from the chat? I hope not. The Eating RPG, Morton's Fork. And there we go, the 5 1/4 floppy disk. Oh, looks like it's for the TRS-80, not the Apple. But all you did is flip it over, and then that was the Apple version. So one or the other. So there is the screenshot. We have something for the title screen, but let's take a look at the manual for Morton's Fork. Wait, it said 12 years old. That's pretty risque for Maces and Magic. Maces and Magic. Basic fantasy adventure involving you and your computer, armed with only your wits, a microcomputer, and software provided that you can become a hero or the meal your destiny dictates. So, is it adventure or role-playing? I don't know.
Don't know yet.
Yes. I actually trying to think of the other Maces and Magic we played. I think we only played one, and not the rest of the trilogy, but oh my goodness, so much information. You can see here we have the dungeon parts, we have the combat parts of it, and we have... so it looks like it's a role-playing game is my guess.
I did see the RPG stats, so I think that is what we're going with. But
yeah, they're going to roll the stats.
They probably had to do RPGs in a more adventure, like text adventure fashion, right?
I maybe they're going to do both. It's because we've seen
that before.
Yeah, so maybe it's the same thing. Okay, so for different versions, we just got 2 different sides of the disc. So here we go. We're popping it in. It is August 30th, 1981, and we're checking out Morton's Fork for the Apple II. We don't know what's going to happen, and we usually don't here on Chronologically Gaming. Yes, we don't know if it's Morton's Fork or Maces and Magic. It was the part 3 of Maces and Magic is what it is.
Have you played part 2 and 1? Or...
I think we only played 1. I don't think we played 2. This is my castle. Don't forget the chipper. Which may be the who the crack is by. Morton's Fork. Okay, so yeah, it's Morton's Fork, which is part 3 of Maces and Magic. Presented by...
like a nice little cinematic intro here.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
For the time, that's awesome. Yep, there you go. Chameleon Software. Got it. And I'm guessing keyboard.
A lot of games like to do the intro where it's like, such and such presents. But
yes, and...
haven't really seen that before much on this channel.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we've only seen that on the home computer space. Anything on the console, they don't have any advertising for the company that makes it. But here on the home computer, we see that a lot of a company having some cool graphic for. Oh, here we go. We got to switch the disc out. All right. So that whole thing we saw was for one side of the disc. Okay. Now
It took a lot of space to make cool stuff like that.
I know, right? Now flip over to side B, and then you get the rest of the game on the other side. Nice.
Now
I just saw
the other 10 kilobytes.
Yeah, right. For the time, I don't even know the space for this. We go all over the place with home computer releases. Morton's Fork Records. Oh, it was telling about number of people that survived. Is this to be a continuation of a previous game? Nope. Do you have an experienced character you wish to use? Yes. David's here. He's the experienced character, right? You played Morton's Fork.
Don't these games use like a password system to like save your game or something, and that's why they're asking?
Yeah, and so it's not the password though. You can save it to disk and then bring back your character. Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll say no. And it looks like it's all keyboard, Dave, so I'll be your hands and you can tell me what to type. Hi there. What's your handle, good buddy? Okay, wait a second. We have Old English for role-playing games in the 80s, and so it's funny when the role-playing game starts with, what's your handle, good buddy? You want to go with Davi?
Sure, that's a good one.
Yeah, all right.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
So much all at once.
Here's all your characteristics. You got all this stuff. You got, carrying weight as well, and you're carrying nothing. You have no experience points. Your language is 2. And so this might be one of those games, and we've seen a few others on the show, on the channel, that you could play the game, get to a certain point of the dungeon, and then you save, and then if you want, you can save that character and use it later. So you can actually level up the saved character. So do you want to use this character, Dave?
I love that they've rolled the character for me, and I don't really have to do a whole bunch on my own.
Right. So if you say no, it may change everything and you have something totally different.
Let's go no. Let's try a new character, see what we get different.
All right, I'm looking at the gold. Let's see what they change on the gold. Oh, you just lost like 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, and I lost a lot of stats. Let's do no. Let's do another one.
Another one?
Gotta get something higher.
Okay.
All right, I'm good with this. I love that my language level is 5 now. I don't know what that means, but that's the highest language level I've seen.
My guess would be haggling when it comes to buying stuff, if they have that in the game. I don't know. But we'll go with this one. Here we go. Weapons. Press return to continue. Just in case you should meet something unfriendly, maybe you would like to pick out a weapon or two. That's clever.
Wonder if this is going to be one of those games with like 50 weapons to choose from.
Oh gosh, yeah, like which was the one we came across. We've played a lot of role-playing games. Hellfire Warrior had a lot to choose from. Type the number of desired weapon and then L to see the list, P to proceed. So see the list. Swords. Oh gosh, yes.
This might be the same game that I think we've played before.
So maybe that was the second Maces and Magic?
Could have been.
Yeah, possibly. All right, so any sword that you fancy?
Okay, let's go with the Claymore.
Claymore. Going Claymore, and do we just buy it? Oh, this is just viewing the list. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah. We just say F. We're finished with the list. There we go.
Actually,
and
let's do Cutlass.
Was that number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so going with Cutlass. Not many choosing a Flamber's Live to tell about it. Hope you have a better luck. You have
I didn't
this
remember the number. Sorry.
Okay, so we picked number 2. No problem. All right, and then we say proceed to armor. So we go to armor next. This is cool. The graphic is new.
I love that they've added the graphics. It's nice.
Yeah. To protect against bumps and bruises, we carry a wide selection of armor. So we go to see the list. I'm wondering if this is also in the manual that you could go and see everything from there. For the last time, Chiptune Chronicles, we are not picking the bastard sword.
All right, let's go 8.
Going 8, okay. The Soleret. So pick an 8. I didn't even see the price if you have enough money. Solerets are usually sold in pairs. Would you like 2?
Yes.
Sure. A person of rare discernment. Not many realize the value of a good pair of Solerets.
Okay.
But you didn't expect someone to
proceed to the dungeon.
Proceed to the dungeon. So we only picked a weapon and armor. They kept it pretty simple. You now have 73 gold pieces. Each weighs 1 unit. Do you want to leave any here for safekeeping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave all 73. We don't need
all of them. Done. So there we go. It's giving us a stats of what's going to happen, and now we continue, and we get to the dungeon. And we've seen before on the channel. We get to the dungeon, and then the game might crash.
I see. It's telling us everything that we currently have here.
There it is.
We probably should have bought more armor than a pair of Solarets, but we're doing it anyway. We're going in.
You have speech level 5. You don't need any armor or swords. You can talk about anything. Oh.
No.
And it did crash. Undefined statement error in 11. Darn. Well, you know what that means? We're probably
gotta look at 11 and see if we can fix that.
Get the developers right on it. Well, we may revisit this again, or it may come back again, but we didn't get a chance to really play that much. So as far as rating the game, it may not be fair. From first impressions, you could give it something, or we can just go with 0 and move on, and maybe see this another time.
I feel like 3 is reasonable because it seems pretty similar to the previous games, just with some added graphics.
Yeah, I wanted to see if it did a graphic interface, kind of like Temple of Apshai, or if it was going to go with text. But we may see it again. We have lots of games that we play the next time, because on the live show, you never know what's going to happen. All right, so after that, we played some Morton's Fork, and let's see what our next game is. This is Robotwar, also for the Apple II.
Also sometimes called Robotwar.
Robotwar. Take a look at the artwork. It is, by Muse Software. I wonder if it's by Silas Warner. He is the guy who did Castle Wolfenstein from Muse Software. All right, so front of the box there's advertisement flyer. So you think you're invincible? You've programmed your war robot, tested it, debugged, reprogrammed, tested, and you're sure you have the ultimate robot. Are you ready to hurl your war cry across the nation? There are hundreds of robot lords awaiting your challenge. Robotwar, an action logic game designed to sharpen your programming skills. Comes with 5 pre-programmed robot opponents, and when you've developed a machine none of the 5 can destroy, there's a national network of people like you, each with an indestructible robot. Ask for the game at your nearest Muse dealer. At the time, $48K, make sure you got that in your Apple II. It cost $40 for Robotwar.
And that's back then.
Yes, back then.
That's like probably $150, $200 now.
Yeah, right? So there's the disc, Muse Software, and then an example of the screenshot. So it may be, I don't even know if it might be educational. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the manual for Robotwar. There we go, Muse Software. Robotwar.
It does seem to be a programming game, but not all programming games are educational. Some are just for fun.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like it is by Silas Warner, same guy that did Castle Wolfenstein. Awesome. Don't empty the disc, blah, 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 manual, table of contents, subject, scenario, oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see how many pages this is. This manual, wow, look at this.
And you are actually writing code, it looks like. It's not...
What?
This is going to be intense.
It may be one of those that we can't get a full grasp doing a taste on a live show, but I do like doing this and seeing these kind of games because it lets you just picture yourself in 1981 and what was possible, because I've already been blown away seeing games on the channel that I didn't expect. Wait a second, they had something like this in 1981? So it's kind of cool. Welcome to the battlefield of the future. It is the year 2002. Wars still rage, but finally they have been officially declared hazardous to human health. Now the only warriors are robots, built in secret and programmed to fight each other to the death. Right after Y2K.
Wars are hazardous to human health. That's a good one.
Your country has developed the most efficient battle robot to date. It should be unbeatable, but part of its microcomputer brain is still blank. Only when a strategy is programmed into its memory will the robot be able to fight. The task before you is to program a robot that no other robot can destroy. Cool.
I believe in you, Jeff.
We will not be programming an entire robot tonight. That sounds like a game that we could play for weeks, having fun tweaking things and changing stuff. But yeah, it is designing and programming a robot to play. And I believe this was one of the top games of 1981 because of the complexity that you could play. You build a robot, and it's almost like building one in real life, a physical robot. Okay, so the manual is very extensive. That was around 80 pages, which is incredible for the time. We got different alternate versions, but we'll play the original. Here we go. This is sometime in August 1981, and this is Robotwar for the Apple II. I don't know what to expect for this one. We did get a cracked version of it, which is typical. A lot of these are now public domain. Robotwar by Silas Warner. So the same year he did Castle Wolfenstein, he did this. That's really crazy because I gave Castle Wolfenstein 5 stars considering everything else we played so far. Very ambitious. It was the first true stealth game that had lots of elements that no other game did. So here we go. Another game by Silas Warner. What do you want to do? Start a robot battle, assemble or test a robot? Oh, wait. It went to go back to the screen. It automatically goes into this attract mode. There we go. So it was going to start a robot war right off the bat. And then we can schedule automatic match. Let's just do start a robot battle. Because I bet if we spent a lot of time with this, we could program and tweak the robot and actually assign the code for it. But okay, so it told us like in the manual.
Have some robots we can use.
Let's go with Maniac. Got to put Maniac in the battle. All right, so one robot's in, and then give me another one, Dave. Ralph.
Can't have a war without Ralph.
The manual told us all these were pre-programmed so we could play with something. I'll go with Scanner, and maybe we could do all of them. Because I think that's kind of what it is. We're not going to directly control the robot. I think you tell it what to do, and then it just goes in automatic mode, is my guess. All right, so going with 2 scanners and a mover.
Okay.
And there we go. Robot War, Battlefield, 5 robots, press return. And there we go. So all 5 robots are playing. They have firing capabilities. It's from a top-down perspective, and you can see they're showing stats on the right side. But I think that's how you play the game. You design the robot, and then you realize, wait, its aim is off, or it's not doing what it's supposed to, and you try to be the last one to survive.
Wow. I wonder if they'll let us see the code for these robots that they built.
I bet we could. We could see. Well, that's a good point. I don't know if we can load the code for this one. They may have to start another one for it. So they're doing usual sound effects that we hear from the Apple II. Oh, we already got one down. But the game looks like you don't control the robots directly. It's based mainly on programming. What you tell the robot to do, and then it gets to run with some artificial intelligence to play.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so it was doing a demo for us, but this is a game I could sink my teeth into if it was 1981. We both have programming backgrounds, and so we're both the nerds that would want to play this, and this would be a great game to have if you were in college, because you make a disc of your robot, you go over to someone else's house and like, yeah, you want to see how well they fare against each other, and then we play and you realize, oh man, that was terrible at moving, or you realize what you could tweak and change. But anyway, all right, so for the time, as usual, guess rate it all. Dave, what would you give Robotwar for the Apple II?
Feels like a 4 to me. I think it's really solid, and yeah, you could sink your teeth into this and spend a lot of hours enjoying it.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm with you. We just heard from the chat, S. Tisky says, I'm not that nerd, 2.5. No genre is safe here on Chronologically Gaming as we play every game. Our next game is SCRAM for the Atari home computer. And we saw this in Atari Connection. This is, I believe, an educational game. We'll see how educational it is. Let's take a look at the artwork for SCRAM, a nuclear power plant simulation. Okay. Even Atari, with a nuclear power plant simulation video game, has amazing artwork on the front of the box. Atari just I mean, look at that. That is so epic.
They always kill it with the illustrations.
Oh, it's so good. It's too good. And back of the box looks like this is the French back of the box. And then we have example of screenshot, which I believe it's a nuclear reactor. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the manual for SCRAM, the nuclear power plant simulation. Amazing. The artwork blows me away. It's too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What SCRAM means. Under the stands at Stagfield, a group of scientists gathered to conduct an apocalypse experiment. They are going to start the world's first nuclear reactor. How will it behave? None of them knows for certain. They have two basic problems: how to start the reactor, and perhaps more important, how to stop it once it's started. What forces will they unleash if it fails to stop promptly? 3 safety systems are prepared: an automatic electrical system, a chemical system manned by 3 scientists in the top of the reactor, a control rod called ZIP, and the word SCRAM, which stands for Start Cutting Right Away, Man. So that's the acronym for it. And looks like this is a simulation of 3 Mile Island. So we're going to be playing a simulation of that. Yes, so it shows you how to set it up. Well, it's was advertised in Atari Connection as an educational program, so we may not be doing too much with this because educational titles, we don't go as far with it. But let's give it a shot. We got lots of different versions. I actually don't know which one's going to run. So here we go. It's August, at some point in August 1981, and this is SCRAM for your Atari home computer.
I agree, pretty one. Why would you want to pretend to work in a nuclear power plant?
Yeah, aren't video games to escape? Like you want to go on a I understand fantasy. You know, you want to be a knight and you want to fight things. You know, or go mining or whatever, something like that. But
or flight simulators. I get it. You're flying in the air. It's exciting.
Right. All right, that one did not boot for us. Let's try another one just to see if SCRAM loads for us. Start cutting right away, man. Oh, here we go. Something's loading up for us. Yeah, if it's a nuclear reactor simulator, then what do you do? Yeah, here we go. Building the nuclear power plant in front of our eyes. The power of computers in 1981.
That's fast.
Waiting for the NRC license. Am I controlling? No joystick controls. RCS pressure boil. Yeah, it's a full-on simulation of a nuclear reactor. The manual was not as crazy as Robotwar, but here we go. Yeah, it's you're making the decisions and doing things to run a nuclear reactor. So we'll just do a boot up for this because it's technical. It looks legit. So for an educational title like this, what would you give SCRAM?
I feel like I'd go 3.5.
Really? You go that high? Okay. So
I mean, if we're judging it just on the merit of being a simulation, it looked pretty legit, pretty solid.
I would, in my opinion, I'd go for this. If it was 1981 and I was a kid and I had an Atari home computer and my parents brought home SCRAM, I would just tell myself, I'm going to make the most out of it I can and have as much fun as I can with it. But I would have rather I would have rather had Asteroids, which we played last episode.
Then yes, I would rate it much lower.
And we'll go 3.5 stars for SCRAM. Okay, so after SCRAM for the Atari home computer, let's see what our next release is. Oh, okay, our next release is the latest issue of BYTE magazine. And this means we're now done with August. We're now in September of 1981. And as usual with BYTE magazine, this is kind of to show the evolution of video game publications as well, because I'm a big fan of Nintendo Power, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and so forth. So those magazines will be coming eventually on the channel, and we're going to see the change of what the news in video games is like. BYTE magazine is a journal that's hundreds of pages long, so we only check out the front and then what they have for the title or table of contents, just to see what they're talking about, what's happening in September of 1981. And so for the cover, it looks like we have artificial intelligence is the topic of discussion in 1981. Believe it or not, artificial intelligence in 1981. We scroll through a few ads, and then for table of contents, let's see, we got a look at the NCC, the National Computer Conference in 1981. So what's happening in the computer world there. We have build an unlimited vocabulary speech synthesizer. This is all very technical and usually for developers, programmers, and it's like the cutting edge of computers in 1981. You can see they have the Xerox Alto computer, and they also talk about tree searching. The basic program allows you to solve sliding block puzzles. That is so not interesting. That is the most boring topic. We have computers now that are playing chess rather than sliding block puzzles.
Back then, computers weren't expected to have a ton of artificial intelligence.
True, that's true. To talk about any of it is impressive. Yeah, the topic on artificial intelligence by Stephen K. Roberts, easing the task of dealing with vast amounts of information if certain problems can be solved. And then we have high-level language benchmarks, science fiction intelligent computers, symbolic differentiation with Lisp. That's something that's just for that time. They had another topic on Smalltalk, which was a object-oriented programming language in 81, which is way before anything that we have now.
I think they know their audience because, I graduated with a big focus on artificial intelligence, and I am super interested to know how they got it to solve a sliding block puzzle. I'm just saying. I wouldn't know where to start with that.
Fascinating. Yeah, yeah. Then they have a tutorial on the display of the Atari, because this covers all computers. The Byte magazine does everything. They talked about Japanese computers in the previous one, how they're about to get started, or they just started now. And then we also have, there we go, building a Z80 system in a kit, because they're still doing that where you can get kits to buy. That's going to start going down the wayside because computers in Europe right now are taking self-built systems, the ZX80 and the ZX81, and the whole let's go to a hobby store and build a computer ourselves is kind of going away because everyone's just going to buy a self-built computer. So there you go, a little preview of what it's like in the computer world and the technology world in September of 1981. And after that means we're in September. So our next release is, oh yes.
No way.
Okay, I've been really excited for this one. This is Galaga, and we've seen shooter after shooter after shooter. And I not being the aficionado with every shooter out there, I expected after Galaxian we'd see Galaga sooner. But this one's big. Here we go. Let's take a look at the artwork for Galaga. This is awesome. So there's the advertisement flyer for Galaga. This is the Midway one, which was what was distributed in North America, because I believe this is developed by Namco. The new generation multi-stage space challenge. The space shooter is here. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. The back of the advertising flyer. Special action features. The tractor beam. A boss Galaga randomly shoots a tractor beam trying to capture the player's fighter. If you hit this boss, the fighter descends into tandem team with double firepower. Ooh. Special scoring, top 5 scores. And then it breaks up the stages. Yep, we have the challenge stage and the bonus features in the game, what you get for players. So cool. And there's the example of the arcade cabinet. Galaga.
Yeah, I've been wondering when we would get to this one. This is exciting.
Yeah. So for controls, you just move left and right and fire like the other ones. Keep it simple, man. Nice. There's the arcade marquee and just some artwork. Galaga is here. So exciting. Okay, so for the manual, we got the Midway parts manual, all 3 different types of the cabinets of Galaga. And if we scroll through, does it have anything about the game itself? Because since we had Space Invaders, the next big release was Galaxian. And after Galaxian, the next big shooter was Moon Cresta. And we've had lots of little ones here and there. And so now I'd like to know, how did they introduce Galaga? There we go. The only difference is in 2-player mode, the cocktail table flips whenever it's time for your turn. But when you play the game, you're the pilot of a space fighter stationed in space to defend your planet against the oncoming hordes of invaders. Your mission is to destroy as many enemy ships as possible. They arrive in convoys and attack you, swerving back and forth across the screen, dropping bombs all the while. Certain of the enemy ships can put out a tractor beam and capture your space fire. Oh yeah, some of the ships will capture them and then get back to destroying the enemy ship that captured it. As your skill increases, the number of attackers come at you one at a time and speed, which the enemy ship's attack is gradually increased. Oh man, they tell you the game objective. The object is to survive as long as possible while destroying as many attacking ships as you can. Now, I'm curious, Dave, since you're with me, we have lots of games that have been lost to time. Like, I played them and I've never heard of them. They're not popular. And this shooter, I'm trying to imagine all the other shooters we've seen up to this point. This shooter is a good presentation and has good play control, and it does have the whole, like, we'll steal your ship concept, but what is Galaga doing that the other shooters aren't doing that we still know about it now? Like, you can go into an arcade and they still have Galaga now.
I couldn't tell you what it is that they have because I don't know if I've even actually played Galaga. I've know about it and I've heard all about it, but I don't know if I actually played it before.
Yeah, because you've seen the artwork for Galaga. You're familiar with the spacecraft.
Yeah, I know all about it and how it's revolutionary. Like, people love it, but I don't think I ever actually played it.
All right, cool. This will be awesome then. All right, so for additional apps, we got the Midway set, the Namco set, and then the Gatsby set. We're going to go with the original because this is the Namco release. So we're playing the Japanese first release in September of 1981, and this is Galaga in the arcade. Or maybe that one isn't Galaga yet. And no problem. We'll just try a different version for it. Let's try this one for Galaga. We got lots of different ways we can play these. Oh yeah, there we go. We're starting to see boot up sequences for the arcade cabinets too. Before they would just pop in, and now we're seeing testing, testing RAM and ROM in the background, which is cool.
That's great. Well, here we are.
Here we are, 1981, and another giant release. This year has been insane. We get to Frogger, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Frogger, this is awesome. There couldn't be anything better than Frogger. And then Donkey Kong comes out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot Donkey Kong.
Yep.
I mean, Microsoft DOS came out this year. Not necessarily like the games were that good, but there's been a lot of big stuff for 81. Okay, so while the attract mode goes through, let's check out some different artwork we got around the outside. I love seeing the different ones. This is Xbox Live Arcade, and then we have just different artworks that you can see. There's the cocktail version. This is Namco, so the Namco upright cabinet looked like that, and then the artwork on the outside of the cabinet looked like this, and then the cocktail version, you can see the Japanese on either side.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have demo versions, and then just, oh, that's cool. So just a widescreen artwork for it, zoomed in a little bit. So for the upright, you can see it's making a slight smaller screen, but this is exactly what you'd see for the Namco release. Because we're doing the first one in Japan, let's do the cocktail and check that one out. So putting some coins in, because we're in Japan. This is when it first came out. Namco's release is killing it. Oh man, the sound effects. Wow.
Oh, and the music, of course.
So good. Check out the sound effects too.
This is another one of those games where the sound presentation was really well done.
Everything Namco's done so far is so good. Rally X continuing. Oh, and Pac-man, obviously. Oh, man. Ready. I love how the enemies swell. It's constant movement, colors, and so forth. Let's see if I can get a tractor beam show up.
They really come in close to try and get you.
Oh, yeah. Don't think it's going to do it. It has to be the commander.
Yeah. Oh, it came around behind you.
And we've seen other shooters do that. So it's not like... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it did work. Nice.
Oh, they got you.
This is the biggest feature of Pac-Man. I mean, Galaga. because the whole like take a ship away, and then now you have the opportunity to get your ship back, but you could shoot your own ship. Oh wait, no,
wait, that was
I
your
lost
last
it.
life.
Yeah, it was my last one. So it won't let me take it back. Darn. All right, so that's for the last one. Let me switch the cabinet from. Oh, we have a straight up cocktail from Midway too.
Oh, it shows like an upside down one.
Yeah.
At the same time.
For playing on both sides. Sweet. All right, so let's switch it up. Let's go with upright, and go back here, and then I'll see if I can switch to a cocktail version so that you'll be able to play too, because this only has one coin bay and one joystick. So if you wanted to play multiple people, you'd have to have hot seat. Just switch it out. Oh, wow.
Yeah. The movements of everything are so smooth too, which I really like.
Yeah. And they're keeping it the same with Galaxian, the Starfield background, and it's technically not scrolling, like, per se. It's obviously a Starfield is scrolling in the background, but we've seen more impressive scrolling because it's very similar to Galaxian, and this is meant to be a sequel to that.
Oh, okay. Was it made by the same people?
Yeah, all Namco. Namco is
they're killing
up there.
it.
Yeah, and still nowadays, Namco's still a really big arcade distributor.
I think the way that they all fly in formation is really impressive too.
Yeah.
But they all still kind of have their own little idiosyncrasies of the different types too. This is all really cool.
This is also one of the first games that's keeping accuracy of your shot. So while I'm playing, it's realizing I missed. Dang.
Came right at you.
No. The best part of Galaga, though, is when you get that double shot, because we only get 2 shots each before you see. Oh, there you go. Let's see if I can get in there.
I think this will be your last life, though.
Oh, it was, yeah. So he just took, and I died. Every time I'm captured, I'm losing my last ship. Great.
You just gotta stay alive long enough to make it.
All right, so since you've never experienced it, we got to switch it out. So let me do a quick behind the scenes here. I got to get you with.
Got to get me in the hot seat.
That's right.
Yeah, but I was criticizing your gameplay before. Now you're gonna criticize my gameplay.
Okay, that's right. Now push start. All right, so now Dave is up.
Here we go.
It's Galaga 1981.
How do I shoot? Okay.
Controls are just left, right,
two
and
at a
shoot.
time. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the 2 at a time's good, but the presentation for this one, the sound effects, is what drives us over the top. I'm trying to picture all the other shooters we played. It might just be because, oh yeah, it's the animation too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they come at a diagonal, so it's really tough to get away.
It's the suicide ones, yeah. And it's kind of a jolt. When we played things on the channel, we're going from, a role-playing game to a programming robot game to one of the best games you could play in 1981 as a Twitch shooter.
All right, made it to stage 2.
Nice. Beautiful. Already off to a really good start. I want to see if you can get that ship to get double firepower.
Oh, yeah, maybe. How do I get the double firepower?
You just have to go in the tractor beam whenever he opens it up. Oh, I think... Okay, oh, no, you're clearing them away. Nice. Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll get it in the challenging stage.
Now, in the bonus stage, you're just trying to get points. So it has formations of ships, and you try to shoot as many as you can.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the bonus thing is a really nice aspect of this, too, that pushes it over the top compared to other shooters.
All right, I'm going to get the high score on this if I keep this up.
Looking good.
My accuracy's probably terrible, but
Oh, in the chat, people are talking about like the best game between the other ones we've seen. It's very difficult because some people are Frogger based, some people are Donkey Kong based, and then there's some that are Galaga is the best of. In my opinion, they're all excellent. They're all winners. It's really difficult to pick the best because this is one of the best times to be in the arcades and play these games that are still popular nowadays.
I'm on my last life now.
All right, so yeah,
for me, it's all over.
Right, don't do the tractor. Don't do what I did.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
the kamikaze guy.
I almost got the high score. I was so close.
Yeah, that was so good. All right, so I wanted to do one more time. Do you want to play the last one?
Sure.
Let me switch out
try and do the. Oh.
And let me try something first. I want to switch out the screen so you can see a little bit better and zoom it in. Yeah, give me 1 sec. So just ignore the background. We'll just die and move on. Let me zoom into that one. There we go. Now you got a little bit better playing field for it. All right, there we go. So now we're all the way in. Dave is up. This is Galaga in 1981. And kind of cool because when I was wanting to set up this channel, I actually thought of bringing people on that had never played games before and have first reaction experiences to what it's like to play classic or well-known games. So this is awesome. That this is the first time you've played Galaga. Whenever I go to the arcade, this is one of the games that I'll play every time. Oh, come on, do it. Oh, yes, do it, do it.
Do it. I'm going to do it.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. Once they capture it, you have to shoot the ship. If you shoot your own ship, you can blow it up. So you got to make sure you shoot them.
I want to shoot them, not the ship, right?
Right, when they're moving, though. So you have to make sure they're moving toward you, and then move toward you, shoot them and not your own ship. But you look good now. Oh,
that was so close.
Oh, that was so close.
Looks like we're not going to be able to do it. I didn't think it'd be that hard to save my own ship.
Yeah, it's trickier than you think, especially first time around, because getting used to the patterns of the ships and how everything moves.
Looks like there isn't a way to get an extra life.
Oh yeah, once you get to, I think they make it 30,000. Yeah, don't do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I know I lost, but it's still it's a cool little animation and the music. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me try one more time to see if we can do it, just to see. Even though my track record wasn't as good as yours, you did
go for it?
Much better. Yeah, I'll try one more time. All right, here we go. Going in again. So taking over 1981, playing Galaga. The other releases we've seen are so classic, especially like Frogger and Donkey Kong, and well, now I'm trying to get into the zone. So here we go.
I was actually finding it more challenging not to just outright destroy them. Because now there's only one left on the stage. Uh-oh. Oh!
That was close. Oh my gosh.
Nice one.
Another cool thing about Galaga is when this game came out, shooters were so popular, or they call them space games. The space games were so popular that you had guys that were so good, pros at this stuff, and so they started to make harder and harder shooters. And we've seen a few of them on the channel. They destroyed me. And so this game appeals to the newbie and also the pro, because this gets very hard, very difficult. Okay, here we go.
Oh, they destroyed you.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit out of the way.
Alright, they better put another tractor beam up, because I can still do one more with the shot. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
there
while
you go.
avoiding the bullets at the same time.
All right, now you can't die, and you can't destroy your ship. Can you do this?
Yes, and it's going to be tricky because that one's going to take 2 hits now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh, boy. Ooh. You got this, you got this. Oh, you got one of them.
got it.
Hey, nice. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cool. You do get 2 shots.
It's great. So you have 4 going on at the screen at once. Now watch the challenging stage. Here we go.
Do you keep this for the rest of the game?
Well, they can blow it up. Like, you can have one side blown up. Okay, yes.
And then if they steal it, oh, I guess you can still just try and take it back.
Yeah, when I first heard and knew about this mechanic, I said, oh, I want to get in the tractor beam again, and then get 4. Like, upgrade even more. But all you do is upgrade to the 2 ships. And then now you're a bigger target, though. So that's what happens. You'll blow up one side, and then
greater risk, greater reward.
Bingo. Yep, there you go. See, they blew up half, but I'm still going. I'm not dead yet. It's like you take that life you had in reserve, and you're combining it to make better firepower.
That's so cool. Ooh, new creatures, little scorpions.
I had a buddy at school in elementary. His mom was a bigger gamer than him, and she would play Galaga, and I saw her on the NES, because Galaga was ported there, a really nice port on Nintendo. She was on level 97 for Galaga. She was that good, she could play over and over and over again, and the enemies were coming crazy fast on the screen.
Wow.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop there. That is amazing. So cool. We got to check out Galaga. And now it comes down to the rating. What are we going to give Galaga?
I mean, that's got to be 5, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that. I give it 5. One of the best games you could play in 1981.
Yeah, the whole presentation and the design, like, everything is stellar.
The other thing that gives it the rating is we're really not in 1981. Sorry, everyone that's watching the stream. We didn't go back in time. I know I tell everybody we did. We're really here in 2023, and so since we have the foreknowledge of what it does to the industry, you're familiar with Galaga, even though you haven't played it yourself. It's something that has lasted so long, and that's another reason we get higher ratings for something that is popular even nowadays. All right, so after that, let's see what our next game is after Galaga. All right, it's the newest Nintendo Game & Watch. This is Chef. Did you ever have a Nintendo Game & Watch yourself? Besides the modern ones, have you ever played the old school original ones?
I've never had them, but I've played the Game & Watch gallery games.
Oh, yes,
if you've
yes.
heard of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've played a lot of the Game & Watch games through those.
Cool. Okay, so let's take a look at the artwork for Chef. There it is in Japan, this release. Front of the box, a reconstructed front of the box, and then the back of the box shows we've played Parachute, Octopus, Popeye. We haven't played Mickey Mouse yet on the channel, so that one might be coming up soon.
Would make sense if this is the 24 or whatever. They have them numbered.
All right, so there's the example of the screen. I believe, Dave, you're putting the Nintendo Game & Watch in the palm of your hand. It is September 4th, 1981. And the way it works is your X button will be the left button, and your B button will be the right button. So you're just pushing the 2 buttons on, and you can see he's pushing them now. So on the screen, they're being pushed back and forth. But
okay. Oh, that's got it.
They're getting better and better with the artwork and animation. It's just so charming.
Oh, interesting. The cat just kind of holds it there, and you never know when it's going to let it drop.
Nice. They're adding the element of randomness, like an octopus.
Yeah, and I like that. I like Octopus too. That one's a really fun one.
Yeah, that one's good. I agree with the Chiptune was just saying how this is better than the Tiger Electronic games, and I'm with you. The simplicity and the how charming these games are works much better. than the Tiger Electronic games. We will see Tiger Electronics at some point, but until then, I Game & Watch would be the better handheld to have, in my opinion. And so obviously it's it's getting faster and faster. So Dave is playing Chef on the Nintendo Game & Watch, and when any one of these games, it's pretty much the same formula. Just keep going, try to get as many points as you can until you're basically out. And it's meant to be a time waster, something fun to do while you're waiting for something.
Yep. And there's definitely no way I'm ever gonna lose. Oh, as I say it. Oh no! It goes so fast, right back into it.
Yeah, I think they're going based on your score. They know how you've already got 85 points, so crank up the difficulty. Go, go, go!
And sometimes they don't jump up as high now. And you never know if it's going to be a big flip or a small flip.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into the hundreds now. This is good.
Wow.
I got this. 200, everybody. I know you probably didn't want to just watch this for the rest of the stream, but we're here now. It's our life.
We're not going anywhere. The only place we'll see a Nintendo Game & Watch streamed on Twitch.
I always liked the Game & Watch games where, I don't know, it's never like the same thing each time. Where, like, for example, the juggling one, it's pretty much always the same. But with this, with all the different elements, sometimes it's a big flip, sometimes it's a small flip, sometimes the cat grabs it, and those things just make it all so much more fun.
Yeah, agreed. So cool. All right, so for the time, what would you give? And we base it on like the handheld itself. So we already have the Milton Bradley Microvision out there with interchangeable cartridges, and this would be the Game & Watch after Octopus, before Mickey Mouse, and after Popeye. So when I last rated it, I remember I said Popeye is charming because it was it's the first Popeye video game we've ever seen, and so it had that going for it.
3.5, probably.
Yeah, I go 3.5, sure.
I think 3.5 makes sense to me.
Even without a license, though, this is still really charming. It still has a great personality to it, and it's still fun. So that's pretty cool. That is Chef for the Nintendo Game & Watch. And let's go to our next one. It is the latest issue of Analog Computing, which is Atari's newsletter and lots of games. So this would be, I'm guessing, September's. Let's take a look at the latest issue of Analog, because we're now in September, and this would be number 4. Yeah, okay, so this is the September release of Analog Computing, and it looks like this one's going to be about the space games, which, by the way, this is in North America, this publication. They probably don't know about Galaga yet, because Galaga just was released in Japan, so we're probably going to see that in this issue. This is going to be more about the Atari home computer. But I just wanted to highlight a few things from this magazine. We're going to ignore the table of contents because we actually have a few things that they bring up here, like this one. There's a section on pirating, and every issue of Analog Computing has had a section on pirating. And I remember there was a comment you made before about copyright protection. How Dave, you were like, I didn't know it was back in 81. Well, right now we have Apple, which is selling the most home computers right now in North America. Mm-hmm. And Atari comes in the industry, and they're trying to get a foothold on it, but a lot of people are copying the floppy disks. Atari does use cartridges, but everything that's on disk now is adding copy protection to make sure you own that software. But this started all the way back in '77, so they've been doing copy protection since then. It's already been an issue. We'll skip through the headline or editor notes, but we do have some stuff where people are sending in code of, like, this one on the far right is someone sent in a spelling drill code that you can put in your Atari computer, and they put it all in the magazine. So these magazines have games that you can play, and you just put in the code yourself, and there's the game, which I love that. It's like you're getting a free game that you put in yourself. So for recent news, in September of 1981, we have the Atari Light Pen that's out, and the Atari Conversational Italian tapes, if you want to learn Italian.
Never learned Italian. Maybe this is the time.
In 1981. We have an ad for Adventure International. There's some of the releases for them. The only one we've seen, I think, is Golf and Star Trek 3.5 from this ad. And then for new products, we have, okay, just assemblers, smart terminal programs, nothing much there. And then we scroll down, we have this one. This is interesting because when I was reading the magazine to prepare for the episode, it says 2-player Invasion Orion, new from Epix. And I looked this up. I can't find this game anywhere. So it's, I don't know if it was ever released, but if anyone knows any information about 2-player Invasion Orion, I can't find it. It doesn't exist to my knowledge. And it made me realize that on the channel, I know I'm playing every video game ever. There's some video games that have not been preserved and are lost, and we won't ever play them. So it's kind of a sad reminder that even all the people copying and preserving as much as they can, there's still stuff that we will never play. And maybe that's the case with Invasion Orion for the Atari 800.
Pirates let us down.
I know, right? Where's Scott Adams? So then we have also Star Warrior for the Atari computer. The reviews back in 1981 for this magazine and for most at the time, there is no rating system. They're not rating it on a star or a 10 rating, and they just have reading about it, what it is. And there's a screenshot of Star Warrior at the bottom of the screen there. And then we have a basic disk utility. This isn't just games. It also has different programs you can run on your Atari computer. Here's one. This is darts. So if you want to play darts on your home computer, just put in all the code. Boom, there it is. And you can play some darts.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I would geek out about if I had a computer back then.
I'm with you. Only in 1981 would you see this, because I'm trying to think of something more modern. Magazines already are going by the wayside, but around the 90s, I can think of like a PC Gamer. They would have CDs included in the magazine. So that would be, I guess, your way of playing games from the magazine in a more modern sense. But even still, that's 90s.
I remember Nintendo Power sometimes had things that you could scan or input into a game to make things happen. So
like the e-reader cards on Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Love it. Okay, so this one is, again, more software for your Atari. I want to get down to Morse code, a Morse code game for or a program for your Atari. And I want to go down to the VCS because they always have something. Yeah, here we go. The Game Room. Latest games that are coming out. The Quest for Atari 800. Drac is Back is coming. And then Ghost Town by Scott Adams is coming to the Atari, which has already been out, but it's going to be new for the Atari. And then we have an ad for Online Systems. Jawbreaker is coming out, but from all my sources, Jawbreaker doesn't come out until 82 for the Atari computer. So this is, I guess, an early ad maybe. But you can see what it is. Take a guess what Jawbreaker is.
Yeah, those dots look familiar.
Yes, they do, right? Then we got another program condenser. So here we go. All the outer space games. They're going to talk about these releases here. And we've already played Rescue at Rigel, Conflict 2500, and of course the big one, Asteroids for the Atari. And so they have reviews of, we got Sands of Mars, which is one game, and then a review for Starbase Hyperion, Starship Duel, Lunar Lander, which I didn't even found that one. I don't even know if that one exists for the Atari computer. Lunar Lander is very popular, but the release for Atari, I'm not sure. And then, of course, Rescue at Rigel and Conflict 2500 we've seen, Galactic Quest, and then, yes, Asteroids.
Great games, everybody. Play them.
Yeah. And then to close out the end is the VCS section. Oh, the rumors section too. They have rumors about overclocking your Atari computer. and then a quad drive for your Atari computer, obviously making it faster and faster. Here it is, the VCS update. So for the home console side, they go into this article about how to take care of your cartridges, like where to store your cartridges or what's good for your cartridges. But here's the interesting part. At the bottom, it says, newsflash, a version of Pac-Man for the VCS should hit the market sometime in early 1982. And that is the infamous Pac-Man version that people say is part of the reason we had the crash of in North America.
Oh.
And I don't remember if it's exactly 82, but we will be seeing that one eventually.
Funny
so
that
there you go.
People were excited about it back then.
Oh yeah, I think Pac-Man, yes. It was so excited. It'd be crazy. So a cool look at what it was like in September of 1981. And with that, we have reached the end of the evening with a great guest. Thanks so much for being here, Dave.
Thanks for having me. This was really great. I always love coming on the show.
Yeah, out of all the games you played, what's the one that you would see as, I can't believe it was 81. That was fun to play.
I mean, Galaga was really awesome. I'm glad I got to finally get a chance to play that.
That was the big one. I might make that one the headline because there's so much 81 we've seen. This has been a really cool year. We're going to play more, but if anything else comes up and you're able to come on, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, thanks. See y'all next time.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see. There's always more games to play, so we'll see you then. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.